Growing up, I had unlimited access to the internet, and I want to talk about it. I'm going to try not to be too explicit for obvious reasons, but when I was young, I was not necessarily an iPad kid. I was given a tablet and I could watch YouTube and, play games and stuff like that, but I still played outside. I still played on consoles. I still played, computer games and stuff like that. Okay. I wasn't like kids today where they don't play outside as much, like no toys, they just play Roblox. Like I wasn't that kid. But despite that, I was still given access to the internet with no parental controls or anything like that. And that was a terrible idea. I never got exposed to anything violent, but I did get exposed to, I'll just say, the cornfields at a young age, which is very unfortunate. I was introduced to the dictionary when I was about 7 or 8 years old, and that meant, hey, if you don't know what a word is, just look it up in the dictionary, And I just remember the first ever word I looked up in the dictionary, knowing what the dictionary was the word taco. I remember that, just testing it out, I remember. But one day on YouTube, watching my horrible FNAF Gary's Mod videos and whatever the fuck was on the internet that I was watching at the time, I came across this video with a certain word, okay, that rhymes with my favorite band, Korn, and there was nothing wrong with the video from what I remember because it was on YouTube and it was nothing explicit, but that word was in the title, and I'm like, what is that? And I look it up in the dictionary, and I'm like, still confused, like, what is it? And as you can guess, I go on Google or Bing because I had a Kindle Fire and Bing was the search engine for it. And yeah, I felt very sick that day. Despite that weird feeling, I continued looking at it out of like curiosity and shock. And very slowly I started to learn that people make that stuff for all sorts of things. Your favorite characters, whatever. I discovered the 34th rule. I'll just say that. I actually remember, this is kind of funny. We all know the blue and yellow website. I used to think that was an error code. I'm serious. I thought that was an error code. But years later, I found out like, oh no, that's just the name of the website. I wouldn't say I ever got addicted. No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say it ever became a problem, which is good, but I know that other people aren't as fortunate. I know that this to some people can be like, and I know it's sounds crazy, but you got to think about it. We're talking about children. They get traumatized. Like I think traumatized is a word you can use in this instance. Like that looks scary, like you don't know what any of this is. And as much as I think I wound up fine, I understand why this is a big concern. If I could go back in time and prevent myself from discovering that, I definitely would. It really sucks that when it comes to the topic of the fields, the cornfields, Iowa, Slipknot, people are not really good at the conversation. What I mean by that is that people's answer is to just ban it for everyone, including adults, or making your ID be the answer, but you already know I do not trust this government with our information. So how do we solve this, and can we trust the public to actually follow suit? Because the internet is not for children. I wish that my parents understood that, because I think we would have definitely been a lot more secured if they knew that. The internet that my parents grew up with was not the same internet that I was growing up with, I'd even go as far to say that the internet right now is different from the internet that existed when I was 8 years old. I want to make this very clear. I don't know why I didn't say this before, but yeah, someone who's 7, 8 years old should not be looking at that content at all. Okay? At the time, like when you're a kid, you don't think much about it. You're like, oh, whatever, right? But then you get older and you're just like, oh my God, that is so messed up, And then you see maybe like a cousin or whoever, and you're like, I was your age once, I don't want you witnessing that. You know what I mean? Like again, I feel like wind up being fine, but again, there are other people who aren't as fortunate. Like that's how they grow up to have an addiction or have certain trauma or just do I even have to explain it? All of that because of FNAF content, which if you remember 2014, 2015 FNAF content, you had, of course, your game theories, Markiplier's Dawko. I used to watch a ton of Smike. But then you had the Gary's Mod videos, the cringy SFM videos, and that, you know. I don't even know what to say, but yeah, I just don't know what to really say. You know, I think that people should be more wary. I think that when people like me become parents, like I would hope, try to take better steps, you know, to preventing children from seeing that. Even if the internet is super different in the next 5, 10, 20 years, you know, really unfortunate, but I'm lucky enough to say I think I wind up being fine.